Flan, it's what's for dinner. All right, maybe not. In fact, I've never been able to say the word flan without thinking that it's like a weird word. But here's the deal. Flan is an amazing way to get lots of the right kinds of fat into your diet. And pumpkin flan has some healthy carbs in it. The recipe has a variation where you can use maple syrup. If you're a Mountie, I recommend that. But for the most part, I use xylitol, which is completely not going to raise your insulin the way maple syrup does. So if you use maple syrup, go light on the stuff and don't do that every day, or you're going to find that you're on a high sugar diet without meaning to be. So maple syrup, although it's natural, is still a source of really sugar. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to use a blender, which is one of my favorite things to do. Now, you could use like a typical blender like this. In fact, this is my favorite normal blender, but no, I'm doing a video for you, so we're going to do it right. So let me just... This is a Bulletproof blender. We're gonna blend in this thing. Why? Because you can. There's no other real reason for that. This is a restaurant grade blender that'll do enough soup to feed a huge amount of people, and it sounds like a car starting. So how could I not do a video for you like that? 3 cups of coconut milk, and I'm also gonna put in 3 large pastured eggs. So I'm gonna start out with the eggs right here. These ones were not large, so I put a couple extras in. If you didn't see that, I had magically appearing 3 cups of coconut milk. It was just zoomed in. It turns out that here at Bulletproof Labs in the kitchen, we have kitchen fairies. And they bring things like 3 cups of coconut milk already opened to you right when you need them. Adding that in. Pumpkin. This is organic canned pumpkin. I'm actually growing pumpkins right now in the garden, but they're not ready yet. I would normally steam one of those and do it. Canned pumpkin is fine. Just make sure it's organic, and if you can get a BPA-free can, you win. Sea salt, Bulletproof Vanilla Max, of course. This is lab-tested vanilla. It's pure Madagascar vanilla beans that go through a special curing process, and that's one of my favorite spices. I put it in my coffee too, but it's actually the whole vanilla bean ground up, and it's incredibly fragrant. We add that in. A 1/4 cup of xylitol. Xylitol, not from corn, xylitol from hardwood trees. It says North American hardwood, those are actually Canadian trees. And the recipe also calls for maple syrup. If I was making this at home, it would be all xylitol and probably no maple syrup because I really don't need this much sugar. And I got some nice, good source of low toxin carbs from the pumpkin already. But maple has a nice, delicious mapley flavor, so we're gonna do it. You understand, fat. There's lots and lots of fat in here. It's coconut and it's egg yolks. But, and this isn't in the recipe, this is what I do when I'm cooking at home. So I tend to add a little bit of brain octane oil to everything, just a little bit, because I like more fat, and this fat is amplified. The challenging part of this isn't blending it, the challenging part is cooking it, because flan is a little bit delicate. When you get this right, you can even do it for breakfast. It's gonna sound like a car starting. It's my favorite thing ever. No blender sounds like this. This is the coolest blender on the face of the earth. Listen to that idle speed. If this was a 1965 Mustang, it would be cool. Now, amazingly, what came out of this is the same that would come out if you used any blender. I'm going to take this and I'm going to pour it into a ramekin. The problem is I haven't greased this ramekin yet. You can use butter to grease things, which is a tried and true way to do it. However, it's kind of cool when you grease things with brain octane oil because it's a little bit more runny than butter. So you can literally just take a finger, smear everything around in it, and it greases really, really easily and quickly. And I'm going to now pour this into the ramekin. I made more than will fit in this ramekin because this is a dish that will serve multiple people. By the way, if you don't have ramekins, that's okay. You could use any bowl, that'll work. The other thing about brain octane oil that I really appreciate is your skin likes it. So this is what I normally do when I'm cooking is I moisturize. I actually made, for this small volume, a makeshift way of cooking. This is a standard baking dish, and all I'm gonna do is set the ramekin in it. I've added some water that should go about halfway up. This is tap water, like warm tap water. Right here, it's pretty straightforward. And what I'm gonna do is set this in the oven after I cover it with foil. The idea is to cover it with foil loosely, and the water keeps the flan from burning. What I'm going to do now is take this over there and set it in the oven. Now that you've seen how to make flan, where you steam it in the oven gently and you let it set and it's just so perfect and beautiful, what if you just wanted the flavor? Here's how to hack this dish to just make it easy. You take the same stuff we just made. I saved some so I could show you this. Pour it into a pot. It's better with nonstick. I'm using a stainless steel one. You put it on the stove. Low heat, stir gently. And what you're going to find is that just like a custard, that this essentially is custard, that it slowly gets thicker and thicker. And when it's the certain thickness, the way you like it, you just take it off. You're going to cook it slowly so you get just enough where the egg proteins coil up a little bit. And when they do that, that's what gives it the custard consistency. So all you have to do is stir this thing, and what you're going to have is a really nice pumpkin custard with less work than baking it. But if you're going to serve it at a dinner party, go for the flan. If you're going to just eat it because it's delicious, I might do the custard because I'm lazy.